Hi, Dawn. How are you? Happy day, Dawn.
Happy day to you. How are you?
Cheerio. Happy day.
Yeah.
I'm good. I feel like I have a lot to do. So let's get into this.
Let's do it. Welcome to Two Awesome People. I'm Big D.
No, you're Dawn.
She's Big Woman.
You're Dawn, and I am Kelly.
I'm Dawn. That's Kelly. We're Two Awesome People. You're awesome. Thanks for joining. This episode is Kelly's over there shaking her head.
It's the you're awesome that it's so silly.
Hey.
Just like affirming. Anyways, carry on.
It's a shit storm out there. So if somebody's tuning in, whether it's my mom or your mom, we might as well brighten their day.
Okay.
One thing that I really wanted to talk about was decisions.
You're very decisive about the topic of decisions today.
I am making a decision that this topic is going to be decisions.
You have decided on a topic.
Well, so you decided not to get the big tomato for me.
You put tomato on the grocery list and I could not decipher. There was no quantity. There was no type of tomato. It was tomato, like it was a spelling word on a list. And I didn't know what to do with that.
Well, you figure it out. You pick the tomato. You decide whatever tomatoes look good for you.
That's not what it was. You were not saying get creative here, Cal. You just messed up writing on the list, I think.
I was like, this is going to be fun for her. Tomato.
It was not fun. It was just I'm not getting this either.
Ooh, Kelly and our son got home, and then our son instantly declares to me that Kelly got very angry.
Yeah, Mom got so mad. Mom was so mad at the store. So I called him a shit stirrer because that's what he is. I was not mad at all. I called you once, you didn't answer, and I moved on.
Interesting.
It's not interesting. There's literally nothing interesting about it.
You made a decision.
That was like a half-hearted decision. That was just this is not worth my time. I'm moving on decision.
That was I'll use a few brain cells and then stop.
You got to conserve them. You have to be mindful of where they go.
Got it. You don't put too much thought into it.
No, I'm very thoughtless.
You just got the empty cobwebs up there. You're like, duh, nope. Okay.
That's not what thoughtless is. A person is thoughtless if they don't think about others, and a person is mindless if they're like stupid. I'm usually both, yes. It's a great way to be.
Well, here's an interesting fact, Kelly. We make approximately 35,000 decisions a day.
That's insane. That is exhausting.
Can you believe that? 35,000 decisions a day is average.
I guess that has to do with like deciding to move a toe kind of a thing.
Do you think that counts for that?
I think that it must. It's like I decided to change how I was sitting or something. Like, yes, I decided to scratch an itch.
Oh, that's good. What qualifies as a decision?
Well, I think a decision is probably anything that you consciously do. That's a decision, right?
You know where my mind immediately goes? I wipe my butt twice versus once.
I don't see that is more of a necessity thing because it's not like you set out with a certain amount of times. More like I decided not to have poop in my pants. That's what the decision is. Like I decided to clean myself. That's what that is.
I think that we need to help our sons' decisions sometimes in that category.
I think we have to help their decisions in a lot of categories. Like they go to the bathroom in a bathroom so that they can continue watching the TV. Like they want to have that straight shot from the toilet to the TV, like if they're playing video games. So that's the decision that they're making, that they don't want to look away.
They go to the bathroom while we're having dinner where they can see us having dinner and participate with the conversation with the door open while we're eating dinner. And it's a straight eye shot.
Yeah, we're putting the kibosh on that, though. I mean, we have to. It's not acceptable.
A decision is a conclusion or judgment reached after considering options essentially the act of choosing from available alternatives. So this is where we could use an expert on decisions because we have no idea what actually is a decision and what's not a decision.
But we're not talking about decisions generally. We're talking about our decisions and how
Ooh.
we make decisions, Dawn. So that's different. We're talking about how decisions play into our daily lives.
That's a good point.
Yes.
Yeah. Which we make very mediocre decisions usually.
I don't think that's true.
You know what I say on set sometimes? I'm like, it's mediocre. Mediocre is good enough.
Do you really use the word mediocre or do you say fine or okay?
Sometimes I'll use fine. I do use the word mediocre.
I feel like mediocre is worse than saying fine or okay. Mediocre is just like, nah.
Nah. Well,
Yeah.
sometimes it's nah. And then you have to decide, am I going to move on or am I going to try to make it better?
Right. I guess that's true in life. You just have to decide. Is this good enough? Yeah.
Where's the line for you?
You're the line. Like, you're the good enough.
I don't mind being the line. Hey, you know what? I could be the bottom bar. That's fine with me. I'm still here.
I think that more often than not, my line has to do with what I am comfortable with or what I am capable of doing. It's my personal nature to just not stretch myself too far. So I'll decide on whatever it is that I think I can do.
Dawn is as good as I can do. I'm done.
No, that was a separate joke. Now I'm being serious. I think that my line is wherever I feel like I can sort of be in my comfort zone and still do whatever needs to happen or whatever I'm deciding on.
Can I be honest with you?
Yes.
I think that when I was younger, I made much better decisions. I feel like I made better decisions somewhat financially than I make now.
I think that that is actually just that when you were younger, the stakes weren't as high.
Oh
What?
my God.
What?
Revelation. You know what? We don't need an expert on this show. We do not need an expert.
I don't know if you're being serious or condescending when you act like I say something surprisingly insightful. No.
You'll never know.
I think one of two things. When you're younger, financial decisions, the stakes aren't as high because maybe the amounts of money aren't even as high, too.
Yeah.
There's less like riding on it. Also, the payoffs might seem higher because of that, too. I think, yeah. It's just that the stakes have changed. That's all. So I don't think that you should beat yourself up over making bad decisions. You're probably making decisions just as bad as you were back then.
Just a bunch of shitty decisions.
The quality hasn't changed. It's just what's riding on it.
Now it's more obvious. You know, the stock market has always been one of those like bad, good decisions. I've always done really good in the stock market, but it's one of those things that you beat yourself up over no matter how well you do.
Right. I think that's why the stock market isn't for me, because that would be making decisions that maybe I'm not like super comfortable or confident, and it's out of my comfort zone. So I'm just like, no, I won't decide on that.
You know what? You're streamlining your decisions. The reason why I wanted this topic was a couple days ago, I made a decision not to pitch on a job. And I was very happy with this decision. Then there was peer pressure, and I was pressured into pitching on this project. And then I didn't get the project. I didn't win the project. And then I was really bitter. And I was really upset with myself for giving in on a decision and a gut instinct that I was very comfortable with.
You were probably upset about two things. One was going against your gut. And the other was you didn't get the job.
I lost.
I mean, yeah, if you got the job and you went against your gut, you would be fine with the decision.
Unless the job turned out bad.
Well, yeah, but I think it's more just that the payoff wasn't there. It's a very good excuse for not getting the job that, oh, well, I was just going against my gut and I shouldn't have done that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but then the problem is I didn't want the job. I had already decided I didn't want to pitch on it. And so then my pitch isn't as good. And
Right.
it's like almost self-sabotaging.
I think it was self-sabotaging. I think that it was
Totally.
kind of, because you didn't really want to do it. So you basically gave them reasons for you not to do it.
Yeah. Versus just sticking with my instinct.
Yeah.
Do you
Which I
make
guess-
instinct?
Do I make instinct? Is that what you just said? I've never made instinct. I've never made that.
You never made
How do you
instinct?
make that? Is there tomato in it?
You have to stir it a lot, Kelly.
Just tomato.
Do you feel an instinct with certain decisions and go with that instinct?
I think everybody has instincts.
You may have an instinctual kind of guide. It's whether you're in touch with it or not. Making a decision, especially a big decision, can be really hard.
I would like to hear the decision that we're in the middle of making that I'm leaning on my instincts on.
Where our older one will go to high school.
My instinct is different than yours, and I'm not like super attached to my instinct because it's more based on emotions than based on like logic. From an emotional mom perspective, I think that a small school is great for him. But from a like logic perspective, I do understand the value of a bigger school. At least I'm recognizing what my gut is based on. I have an emotional gut. That's what I have.
Your emotional gut.
I have an emotional gut.
Emotions play into your gut and choices. That's, like I was saying, the stock market, work, making decisions when we're angry, making decisions when we're hangry, or, you know, when you have a decision to make when you are, let's say, sleep deprived. Those all play into decisions, and your decision may be worse off because of it.
Right. I would think that when it comes time to lock in high school for Nate, it won't be on a day that I'm sleep deprived and hangry and angry, I guess.
Yeah. And revengeful.
Yeah,
if he
won't
doesn't
be on one of those days.
Right. If he doesn't get into one of the schools we want, then you'll make a decision just to spite them.
Yeah. And I'll be hungry while doing it. So that will further affect my decision making. What word association do you want to do?
Word association. Record.
Record is your word? I just think of podcast.
Well, that's because I saw the record on the top of it.
See,
you're not wrong.
That's the thing about this word association is then you just get stuck and you know, think about whatever it is you're looking at.
Well, so you give me a word.
Shoe.
Foot.
You think foot?
I think that most people would probably say shoe, and the associated thing with shoe is foot. What do you think?
Kind of shoe. I thought kind of shoe. I was basically thinking of like a synonym for shoe, so I was going sneaker.
Oh.
Basically.
I think Nike.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Some people
usually
might think that.
Yeah, usually you think like when you said cookie, it was chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah, it's the kind.
I have a question. Would you ever do OnlyFans?
No, I don't think I would do OnlyFans.
Even if it were like not overly sexual, if it was like, hey, we needed some money, maybe you should go on OnlyFans and, you know, lick water bottles.
If it was like, I will give you $1 million to put your foot on this floor and take a picture of it, yeah, I'll do that. I don't know.
For $1 million, I'll do a whole lot more.
That is not true. You would not. That would
For $1 million?
be prostitution. If somebody offered you $1 million to do what if it was sexual?
Like what?
See, it doesn't matter. You said that you would do it for $1 million.
For $1 million? I don't know. I think that if it...
There you
go.
See, now your decision making is kicking in because you're not hangry or sleep deprived. So
well, and you're bringing $1 million over
You're working on all cylinders. That's good.
Well, I can tell you what my decision would be because I've been offered.
What have you been offered?
I was offered to edit porn.
Oh, right. But that wasn't $1 million, Don. I think editing porn would be the most interesting part of like porn production because then you would be like choosing what takes to use.
And angles.
Yeah. Like the reality is, of all porn production positions, editing would probably be the most interesting.
You know, what's interesting is decision fatigue. Because we make 35,000 decisions a day, and often
Right.
probably more, it's an actual real thing.
Totally. Haven't you had decision fatigue when at the end of the day it comes to be dinner time or something and you're like, I don't want to decide?
The American Medical Association.
Not the metal one.
Not the
The
American
Metal
Metal
Association.
Yeah. That's a good association.
Yeah.
I want to join that one.
I don't really think they exist.
The American Medical Association does recognize decision fatigue. Our choices over a period of time impairs our ability to make further choices effectively. My agent once told me, your job as a director is to make decisions. Make good decisions, make bad decisions, but have a point of view. And after doing this for, 15 years, it's harder to make decisions. I don't know what's good. It's all very vague to me sometimes.
I think a lot of people's jobs are to make decisions.
Absolutely. Your job is to make decisions.
I was going to say, I would argue that being a parent, like your job is to make decisions. And in that case, you make decisions for other people. Like you are deciding basically how they spend their time and what they're doing. So that's a pressure cooker of a decision.
I'm going to completely screw this up. This is where that mediocre is good enough kind of steps in.
Yeah, I don't know if mediocre is good enough. I mean, I guess in certain ways with parenting, mediocre is good enough because it's kind of like, does this put my child at risk? No?
Well,
okay, then it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
Is
like, all right,
is my
then
child
we'll
going to
do that.
lose an arm with this?
Exactly. And the answer's no. And you're like, all right, let's do it.
Well, there was a good piece of advice with making decisions with your kids. It was, you ask yourself, does it matter in 5 years? Will it matter or change the trajectory in 5 years?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Why 5 years?
It's an arbitrary time, but the point is we make decisions for their future versus right now. If you let them eat unhealthy one day, in 5 years, is it really going to matter? Probably not. So we go to the movies, they get a buttload of candy and junk food, and it's fine. But if they eat unhealthy every day, is it going to matter in 5 years? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess so. Have you decided to be quiet now? I've decided to stop talking.
I've decided I've talked enough.
Yeah. You go on long-winded, winding roads of logic, I guess.
Anyways, back to decision fatigue. So this actually, it can lead to poor choices, procrastination, and complete avoidance. Every single decision you make, it drains you just a little bit. And if you're making 35,000 decisions, whether you buy the tomato or not, you've wasted a little bit of brain power.
That is so dark. That's kind of like some people say your heart can only beat a certain amount of times in your life. Have you never heard that?
Oh, man, I've wasted a lot of beats.
Or like when I was younger and I had that heart thing where my heart would beat really fast, I'd be like, well, I am screwed because this is wasting so much of my life. So that's like saying that like you have a finite amount of decisions that you can make in your life. And after that, you're brain dead. Like,
that's it. You're done.
the next time you ask me to decide something, I'll be like, I'm not going to waste one of my decisions on that. That's not going to
That would be
one
you
of them.
deciding not to decide, though.
Well, yeah, but maybe my saying, no, I'm not going to answer that is like a smaller decision. Maybe decisions vary in the amount they take from the pot.
Of course they vary. Absolutely.
So there you go.
There's high stakes decisions. And with high stakes decisions, I'm getting to this off the net right now.
Uh-huh.
They require more mental effort and contribute more to fatigue. High stakes. There's time pressure decisions. That's like, you got to decide right now. And
yeah,
it's like,
those are the ones that I avoid those.
Oh, I love those.
But I also don't have anything in my life where I'm like deciding on the spot. That's not the world that I live in.
Yeah. Well, those are great. Time pressure decisions. Do they wear the plaid shirt or the striped shirt? Like where it's like really fast.
That sounds like the least important decision I've ever heard. And you described that as a high stakes decision, did you not? Yeah, like this is important stuff.
Thank you for putting it in perspective. This is why I like an hour with Kelly.
Oh, because I just bring you down a notch. That's sort of like when you're ordering at a restaurant and you haven't decided, but everybody else at the table has. So then the waiter looks at you and you have to suddenly decide what you want. That's a high stakes decision.
That's a real high stakes decision. And then you get the wrong thing. And you're like, God damn it, I decided poorly.
That is a higher stakes decision than should they wear the plaid or the striped shirt.
Yeah, that may be true.
Yeah, I think so.
Then you're going to have a ruined meal.
Totally.
Especially if you're in a third world country.
Right. Well, yeah. Then I don't think you make high stakes ordering decisions. You probably spend a little bit more time scrutinizing.
Well, you don't make time sensitive decisions. You make high stakes one because otherwise you'll have the runs.
There is a lot running on it. Yes. There's a lot running on it and you get the runs. See how that works?
So how to combat decision fatigue? You limit your choices, streamline your options, and delegating tasks. Build in breaks. You take regular breaks from deciding. You watch a show, and that gives you that break. You float in the pool. You make decisions in advance. I love this one. This is totally what I do.
You make decisions in advance, but
Absolutely.
You don't always know what's coming. You can't always do that.
Sure. But take dinner, for example. I love deciding dinner at 11 o'clock in the morning. You prioritize tasks. You schedule important decisions.
Okay. Okay.
We do that to an extent.
I do more procrastination. It's not like I say, like, tonight we're going to decide on this. It's more like tonight we'll talk about it.
And in the morning, when we're clear-headed and we've gotten a lot of sleep, we'll decide.
I don't really go that far with my planning, but yes. Do you remember when we were deciding to have a kid?
Yes.
I don't know if this is necessarily when we decided to have a kid, but do you remember when we were talking about getting a dog once?
Yes.
And I said, I would rather have a kid than get a dog.
Ooh.
So that was my immediate decision.
Yeah.
And I stand by that because I think dogs are, they're strangely more work.
Yeah. I think that, that's a tough one. Dogs are great. I love dogs. And
Dawn, the question was more, do you remember when we decided to have kids?
Well, but then we were brought up dogs.
Okay.
Yes,
Tell me about
I remember.
dogs.
You wanted to talk about kids. I wanted to talk about dogs.
Yeah.
No, I remember really wanting a kid. And I think that we actually make really good life decisions that are cool, level-headed, and we choose certain things.
Well, that's amazing, Dawn. That is a glowing review of us as a decision-making unit.
You are a very good decision maker, and together we are even better.
We're like super deciders.
We're super deciders.
That should be our team name. We're the super deciders. We should do a podcast where people ask us questions and we decide for them.
Yeah, but then that would take away from our 35,000.
Oh, that's true. That would take away from our pool of decisions for the day. And then we would be left comatose for the rest of the day. That's true. Never mind.
We are super deciders, though. Or at least we're above average deciders.
That's not as catchy. That's not a good name.
It would be a good podcast name, The Above Average Deciders.
No, that's the same as mediocre. You're like, was that above average? Okay, moving on.
Okay, good enough.
Yeah.
We are level-headed when we make big decisions. We don't do pros and cons, which I think sometimes that would be a good thing, but we do sit with it for a while. And that is the one thing from directing and editing I've learned is to sit with your decision for a little while, especially if it's big, because you have kind of your focused perspective. And sometimes you miss other perspectives. And I miss them all the time. We all miss them.
I just like that we're super deciders. So my mind is sort of stuck on that right now.
You're done. You're like, episode done. We're super deciders. Peace out, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
That's the name of this episode for sure.
All right, I'm going to write that one down. The super deciders.
I think that sitting on a decision is, of course, important if you have the luxury of being able to do that. I tend to think about things a lot when I first wake up in bed. And then I'll be like, so I was thinking about A, B, and C to you. And then we kind of go from there.
Right. Do you ever feel like, how come I'm making all these weird and crazy and very adult-oriented decisions? Like, why am I making the decision about 2 kids? These are huge decisions, and I still kind of feel like a kid.
I don't feel that way so much about decisions, but I feel that way about like maintaining a house and stuff. Like I still feel like I'm playing house. And I wonder, why does this playhouse have a toilet in it that I have to clean? Like that, it doesn't feel right.
Whose house am I living in?
Yeah. So, but in terms of the decisions that I make, I don't know. Sometimes if we're making like a big decision about something, I feel empowered. I feel like a badass because we made a decision.
I'm an adult. I get to make a decision.
Yes. Look at me go. I am deciding things and they are right.
I'm putting on my big girl pants.
Mm-hmm. So what's a wrong decision you've made?
Do you want to make the wrong decisions family-oriented decisions or work-oriented or financial?
No, not work.
So you want to hear a wrong decision that's family?
Sure. Or financial, whatever. Just a wrong decision that's at the top of your mind.
I mean, hell, I sold Bitcoin. I mean, we needed the money. I sold Bitcoin. Now it's super high. There's so many where I'm like, after, 20, 25 years investing, I would think, shit, I should be able to do a better job. I know what's going to happen, or at least have a general sense of what the market's going to do because I've followed it for so long. But I still disagree with you on whether remodeling was a bad decision, because I think there's so many things it brings to us.
I don't think that remodeling was a bad decision, but I think that we could have done it on a smaller scale and had it be a better decision because we could have enjoyed the benefits of it and had more financial security at the moment.
Yeah. Currently, right now, I'm thinking being freelance. I'm thinking that's a bad decision.
That's related to the remodel, really. If we hadn't have spent as much money as we spent on the remodel, you would not necessarily be feeling that way.
Well, yeah. And then when I think about it logically, like you said, that's my emotional gut. When I think about it logically, I'm like, you know what? I got the best job in the world. I've traveled the world. I make good money. It's a fantastic decision, really.
Right. So it's sort of like you decide to look at the silver lining or the bright side of things.
Yeah. Yeah. So bad decisions, like a terrible decision. I don't know.
You don't have to have one. I don't know a bad decision necessarily that I have made.
That's because you don't make bad decisions.
That's one way to look at it. But that's also like, it's sort of like a self-correcting in our minds instead of looking at it and being like, that was a disaster decision. It's like self-preservation. We'll look at it more, through rose-colored glasses and think, oh, there was good to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
it just depends on how rosy your glasses are.
Once again, Kelly, my God, you are completely right. It just hit me. It's a self-preservation. We probably have made shitloads of bad decisions, but we just don't view it that way.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, the reality is the decisions that we've made, it's not like we choose to go right or left and that's it. Like, we're not deciding between two things, right? It's not two extremes. We're making decisions that are more general, kind of. Yeah, it's more like a way of life as opposed to a right or a left, or, you know, an up or a down or whatever.
So I want to switch your question around. Instead of what's the worst decision, what is the single best decision you've made?
I think, don't laugh at me, Don. Okay? I think the best decision was marrying you.
Oh,
that
was so obvious. Such a lie. Come on.
It's not a lie. I'm not lying. I think it was. Because all of this and this life and everything, it wouldn't have happened. To be honest, Don, if that's not your answer, that's a freaking problem. Because that's true. Everything, it's a domino effect. Yeah. So God
You're gonna
help
make
you
me cry.
if that's not your answer.
You know what?
No.
This podcast, I don't care if anybody listens to this. That is so sweet. It is.
Yeah, but you better decide to say the same thing.
Oh, absolutely.
There you go. And you know what?
I have no choice but to say it.
Exactly. And we are super deciders. So you know that that's a good decision.
You know what we just did? We just did a decision audit.
Oh, I don't know what that is. Did we do a good one?
We did. We revisited decisions that we made 5, 10, 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Kinda.
Yeah, I mean, in a certain way, you revisit those decisions every single day because they impact whatever you're doing that day, too.
Right. Well, to all the awesome people who are listening.
Do you know what we should do, Don? We should decide to stop here.
Well, yeah, I was making that decision and you just stopped me.
I needed to point it out that you are making a decision. And you know what? It's super.
Thank you. To all those who listened, great decision to listen. Thank you. You guys too are great deciders.
Have a wonderful day.